It's Monday, July 29. In the headlines, Senate gives the nod to income tax credit law. In business news, we have the updates on the financial market. Regionally, PAHO working to eliminate leprosy in the region. And in sports, sprint star Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce sets sight on yet another Olympic title. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Individuals who acquire and install a solar photovoltaic system at their primary place of residence will soon have access to income tax credit. Members of the Senate gave the nod to the legislation on Friday. The Income Tax Amendment Act 2024 sets out the appropriate legal framework that will allow individuals to benefit from the income tax credit.
In other words, the Income Tax Amendment Act 2024 is formalizing an important component of the government's green policy.
That was Minister of Education, Skills and Digital Transformation, Senator Dr. Dana Morris-Dickson. She says about 600 persons will benefit per year from the tax relief, totaling approximately $100 million in tax revenue.
The adoption of solar photovoltaic systems at residential levels will lead to substantial savings on electricity bills for citizens. By reducing energy costs, we can improve the quality of life for Jamaicans and increase disposable income, which in turn stimulates other sectors of the economy. This can lead to the establishment, importantly, of new industries, providing high-quality jobs and enhancing our technical capabilities.
She adds that this move is part of the government's push towards reducing the country's dependence on fossil fuels.
Mr. President, it is no secret that Jamaica has set a target to achieve 50% use of renewable energy in the electricity generation sector by 2030. The utilization of appropriately targeted fiscal measures is therefore critical to achieving this result.
Senator Morris-Dickson informs that the major components utilized in the installation of a solar photovoltaic system, such as the solar photovoltaic panels, solar inverters, and solar batteries, including lithium-ion batteries, are also exempt from the payment of General Consumption Tax, GCT. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, will represent Prime Minister Andrew Holness at the 47th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, in St. George's, Grenada, from July 28 to July 30. According to a press release from the ministry, among the key issues for deliberation are climate change and sustainable development, free movement, security issues, the situation in Haiti, the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, and the Agri-Food Systems Work Program, which prioritizes food and nutrition security. CARICOM heads will discuss the operationalization of the Multilateral Air Services Agreement towards improving air transport within the community. Minister Johnson-Smith says the meeting will also review progress towards achieving full free movement and the targets set under the 25 by 25 initiative aimed at reducing regional food imports. She says, quote, "A strategy for regional digital resilience 2025-2030 is also slated to be tabled as we continue to work on harmonizing ICT policies, legislation, best practices, networks, and services," end quote. The Ministry of Education and Youth is set to collaborate more closely with primary and early childhood school leaders to ensure students gain essential foundational skills for their academic and personal growth. At last week's Back to School conference at Gulf View Hotel in Mandeville, Acting Chief Education Officer Terry-Ann Thomas-Gale emphasized the importance of early education in preparing children for life. She stressed the need for primary and early childhood educators to focus on holistic development and life skills, saying, quote, "Students are reaching secondary school unprepared, not because of tests or curriculum, but because they aren't taught how to learn," end quote. She urged principals to prioritize student-centered teaching. The conference, themed Shaping the Future, STEM, STEAM, and the Transformation Agenda, targeted school leaders from St. Elizabeth and Manchester. The government is making moves to enhance workforce employability. The latest is the Memorandum of Understanding between the Ministry of Labour and Social Security and Heart NSTA Trust. Portfolio Minister Pernell Charles Jr. and Managing Director of the Heart NSTA Trust, Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, signed the accord on Friday.
The signing took place at the Labour Ministry's North Street offices in Kingston on Friday. Present were Minister of Labour and Social Security Pernell Charles Jr., Minister of State in the Ministry Dr. Norman Dunn, and the Managing Director of the Heart NSTA Trust, Dr. Tanisha Ingleton. Addressing those present, Dr. Ingleton said that the MOU represents a significant milestone in creating a skilled workforce.
This Memorandum of Understanding represents more than just a document. It represents a significant milestone in our shared mission to create a more skilled, a more innovative, adaptable, and empowered workforce. For over 3 decades, the Heart NSTA Trust has been at the forefront of human development in Jamaica and the Caribbean. Today, we take a bold step forward, joining forces with the Ministry of Labour and Social Security to create a synergy that will amplify our impact and amplify our reach.
She shared that the partnership between the Labour Ministry and TVET Institute opens a new avenue to fulfill a common mission.
So this partnership therefore opens up exciting new avenues for us to fulfill the mission in several ways. We will co-develop training programs that directly address the evolving needs of our labour market, ensuring that our workforce remains competitive in a globalized economy. By leveraging our combined platforms, we will create a seamless interface for job seekers and employers, enhancing employment opportunities across the island. Our commitment to staff development will foster knowledge sharing and capacity building, creating a ripple effect of expertise throughout our organization.
Minister of Labour Pernell Charles Jr. added that the MOU will change the mindset of Jamaicans.
With this MOU, we are going to change the mindset and the attitude. We are going to provide more skills training, and we are going to expose to more Jamaicans through this collaboration the opportunities available.
Minister Charles continued saying that it will unlock the potential of the country's youth.
Today is a reflection of that spirit, a reflection of the opportunity that will come from it. And I want to make a commitment from our ministry that we intend to utilize our partnership with Heart to unlock the potential of our youth. We are going to make sure that the youth who are in path get an extra special focus because they are among the most vulnerable.
For the news on PBCJ, I am Denida Rodney.
In the business report, the Fair Trading Commission has embarked on a study that will assess the regulatory framework governing ride-sharing services. The FTC points out that ride-sharing platforms operate outside of the framework of the Transport Authority, which is the primary regulator of the public transportation sector. So, while the FTC recognizes the potential benefits of ride-sharing platforms, should they continue to operate and expand in the transport sector without regulations, this may result in a more challenging environment for the Transport Authority. VM Investments Limited reports 1,469% jump in 6 months net profit. Net profit for the 6 months amounted to 533.61 million, a 1,469% jump from the 34.02 million reported in 2023. For the second quarter, net profit was 23.40 million, compared to 2023 figure of 14.10 million. VMIL highlighted, quote, "Our lending solutions team performed creditably, earning an excess of 20.9 million from origination fees. This was supplemented by capital gains from trading activity by opportunistically seeking to dispose of securities which had surpassed our estimated valuations." End quote. Time now for news on the stock exchange and forex market with Denise Williams.
During trading for the period of July 26, 2024, the following companies represent the top 3 most active stocks that investors bought and sold on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. The following companies represent the overall volume leaders. Investment firm Sagicor Select Funds Limited Financial with 5,806,711 units represented 42.68% of the market value in terms of equity sales. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited with 3,815,865 units represented 28.05% of the market volume in terms of equity sales. Food and beverage distributor Winsinco Group Limited ordinary shares with 1,012,767 units represented 7.44% of the market volume in terms of equity sales. Over on the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange trading on July 26, 2024 registered a volume of 354,905 shares crossing the floor of the exchange valued at $2,007,457 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 46 cents. Massey Holdings Limited was the volume leader with 318,218 shares changing hands for a value of $1,139,539 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 74 cents, followed by First Caribbean International Bank Limited with a volume of 10,005 shares being traded for 68,634 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 30 cents. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies on the regional stock markets, we turn to the forex market. On July 26, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $59.9 million was bought from forex traders, while US $56.3 million was sold to forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $157.43 and bought the US dollar for $155.51. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.92, which represents a profit for forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian forex traders earned a trading profit of $1.73 from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold at $114.72 and bought for $112.99. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $3.06, selling it for $202.03 and buying it for $198.97. For our credit report tip of the day, entrepreneurs are always looking for ways to maximize their resources and grow their business. Often overlooked is your credit score and credit report, which is a major asset. So we have some tips on how you can leverage these two, your credit score and credit report, to generate additional income. First of all, you can secure better loan terms. A higher credit score can qualify you for loans with lower interest rates, reducing your overall cost of borrowing and freeing up cash flow for other investments. Second, you can access higher credit limits. With a strong credit score, you can access more money at higher limits, giving you the flexibility to make larger investments or manage cash flow more effectively. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Stay well informed. Stay ahead of the curve. Until our next update, take care.
In regional news, in Belize, UNICEF and the Ministries of Human Development and Health focused on protecting vulnerable children during a national preparatory exercise for a global ministerial meeting in Bogota. UNICEF's Alison Parker highlighted parenting. Dr. Melissa Diaz-Musa from the Ministry of Health emphasized free medical services, and Dylan Williams from the Ministry of Human Development stressed adequate resources for childcare.
For Belize, the data shows that ages 1 to 4 have the highest level of physical violence in Belize. So we're looking at physical violence. What's driving that? What's causing that? And so universal access for parents and caregivers support, because we have advanced significantly on legislation. You know, we have the Domestic Violence Act, etc. But then what support do we need to parents and caregivers in order to ensure that children can grow up in a safe and loving environment?
Part of what we recently found out in terms of a child protection systems evaluation that we have is that we've been able to do certain things good as it relates to a response. And so that response has been a multi-sectoral response from at least the key agencies, the Ministry of Human Development, the courts, we have the police, and of course the Ministry of Health in terms of health services. So we've been able to provide a response in response to any issues that children may face, and so we've been able to do that. However, part of the challenge is that we recognize that even with a strong response, we are lacking in terms of a comprehensive prevention approach, which really should allow us to not, in the long run, have these issues happening in terms of having to have a strong response.
When it comes to the health perspectives, areas like removal of fees at the public health facilities, ensuring good vaccination uptake, reduces children's illnesses and diseases, improving and integrating mental health care in prenatal care. All these things are very important because violence in children, it's multifactorial. So it's not one ministry that will lead and make that change. We've got to continue to work together. So in regards to the social and the economic issues, or what we call the social determinants, these things, if we work towards reducing these things, we will ensure that we do reduce violence against children.
In Trinidad and Tobago, data shows that nearly 80% of the 509 confirmed dengue cases are among young people aged 6 to 20. And according to the country's health minister, Terence Delsing, the ministry is still trying to ascertain why.
The age group of 6 to 20 years has accounted for a total of 78% of the laboratory-confirmed 509 dengue cases for the year so far.
The most of it occurring between the age group 11 to 15, followed by the 6 to 10 age group, and then the 16 to 20 age group. So more younger people are being infected.
Health Minister Terence Delsing said those most susceptible to succumb to the virus includes the younger population and the elderly with comorbidities. Up to Friday evening, the dengue death toll remains at 5, and there's confirmation of an increase in hospitalization for the virus from head of the emergency department at the Southwest Regional Health Authority, Dr. Rita Munasar.
There's a spike in cases, and the short answer to that is yes, there's an increase in hospitalization. Rest assured that there are pathways, clinical and otherwise, to address that, starting from the local health center to ED and to the wards, and a system in place to manage such.
Counties Victoria, St. Patrick and Caroni are going for a massive 86% of the dengue confirmed cases, with County Victoria grabbing 50%, followed by 22% in St. Patrick and 14% in Caroni. And Minister Delsing continues to advocate for source reduction.
We have test tubes here of live larvae in clean, clear, standing water, and the larvae are alive and well, doing well. This is the same larvae from contaminated water, from a drain. The larvae are all dead. The larvae do not survive in those areas of dirty, standing, mossy water.
And Registrar of the Insect Vector Control Division, Dr. Pedram Lala, said although there may be mosquitoes in drains and rivers, those are not carriers of the dengue virus.
The Culex mosquito, which is what breeds in the dirty water, that cannot, if we put that in clean, clear standing water. So if I were to capture Culex larva and I were to put it in the clean, clear standing water, they will not be alive like this. They will instead be dead like these.
The Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, is working to eliminate leprosy in Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean. Barbados currently has 1 case under treatment, while St. Lucia has 11. Dr. Prabjot Singh, advisor for health surveillance, disease prevention and control, stated that PAHO and the World Health Organization provide free leprosy treatment worldwide. Dr. Singh emphasized that there is no need for panic, as leprosy is not easily transmitted.
Because some of these medicines that are used in the treatment of leprosy are so rare, are so old school, let's say, that they're not really readily produced by companies or many companies. They are produced by specific companies upon WHO, and we try to consolidate the demand from all the countries and then provide these medicines for free to all the countries as and when they're required. So currently, almost all the countries in the Eastern Caribbean who would have had a history of a leprosy case, let's say in the last 5 to 10 years, would have a treatment available. This is a very difficult disease to transmit. You really have to be in very close quarters with the person and for a very long duration of time. So that's why the number of cases that you would see for leprosy are not that high. And also, as a person, if you are immunocompromised, let's say you have a disease, you are on treatment, maybe you have a condition that makes your immune system to go down, maybe you are taking some treatment, maybe you have other non-communicable diseases, let's say cancers or other things that usually end up making you do this, then there is a cause that you might be more predisposed or more likely to get the infection. And in that case, of course, you need to get your guard a little bit higher up. Having said that, usually what we've seen is that this transmission does not happen so easily.
In sports, we start with news in athletics. Decorated sprinter Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is looking to add 1 more Olympic medal to her haul of 8. But she's also making the most of her 5th and final Olympic Games. From meeting fellow athletes in the Athletes' Village to attending rugby matches, Fraser-Pryce is taking mental pictures of experiences she enjoyed for the better part of a decade. She told the press, quote, "I think this time around I have been having a good experience with the Olympic spirit, meeting people. Yesterday I went to rugby. First time going to a rugby match," end quote. The sprint star also took time out to meet a gushing fan, New Zealand's rugby sevens player Michaela Blyde. The 28-year-old Black Ferns Sevens hero is aiming to repeat Olympic glory after claiming gold in Tokyo. But Blyde has long been watching the living legend who is Jamaican sprinter Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce on big stages. Over to cricket. England completed a 3-0 clean sweep versus the West Indies on day 3 of the final test match in Edgbaston, Birmingham, winning by 10 wickets.
The West Indies, having ended at day 2, 33 for 2, continued to build a respectable lead as Mikael Lewis scored 57 runs before he was scored by Zach Crawley in the 33rd over with a score at 125 for 4. Kavem Hodge also gave West Indies cause for optimism when he struck back-to-back fours off wood, one through mid-wicket and the other a beautiful drive to get a half-century of his own at 55 runs. The remainder of Windies' batting lineup would be later dismissed with them all out on 175. Chasing only 82 runs for victory, Stokes finished unbeaten on 57 with fellow left-hander Ben Duckett after regular opener Zach Crawley suffered a broken finger in the field. Stokes thrilled supporters with some great shots in a carefree knock which included 9 fours and 2 sixes as the hosts charged to their 82 run to the target in just 7.2 overs.
And that's the news on PBCJ. Remember, we are the People's Station.